Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Maverick here with the final episode of the ReZero Season 1 Director's Cut. This is episode 13, which should be the TV anime episodes of 24 and 25. So, finally barely just made it just in time before the second season drops tomorrow, as we would say in Japanese, giri giri. But yeah, anyways, I don't really think there's too much to recap here. Just a note, I haven't actually read any of you guys' comments on the last video yet, just because we're so near the end. I just want to finish the whole thing up, wrap the whole thing up before I get into any in-depth discussion, right? And, you know, thankfully I've managed to go through 12 episodes, or I guess 23, counting the TV anime, without actually being spoiled at anything. So, you guys are doing a great job. Anyways, the big question, right? The million-dollar question from last episode. Has Subaru died and reset this timeline? Or, in the nick of time, did Julius decide to spare him and try to fight it out through their willpower or something, right? This is definitely an anime in which either case, it could go either way, and there would be, you know, there would be pros and cons to each method. Personally, I'm leaning towards, no. He wasn't actually killed during that scene, and he's going to try and fight his way through, just based on the meta, realization that this is the last two episodes, so I don't really think there's enough time to do a full reset and all of that. Is that true or not? Let's find out right now. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Huh. Ah, I see, I see. Alright, so reset, but not all the way back, right? Okay, he's viewing it as a save point now. Right, gamification all the way. You know, I do have to wonder though, like, I don't know. I feel like Subaru is maybe too emotional of a person to think this way. But I mentioned before, right? How now you guys have mentioned before how Subaru has this hero complex, this protagonist complex, where he believes he needs to be the center of attention to everything that's happening right now. And I mentioned before that I can sort of emphasize with that because if I were thrown into this situation, I would definitely feel that I am the main character of a story as well. I'm literally having a game-like ability of save loading and with the save points being updated as I pass through the stages of the story, right? So, yeah, I guess Subaru wouldn't quite view it this way, but definitely in the back of my mind, if I were in this situation, I'd be like, huh, what does it matter? This is all a game anyways, right? And it doesn't really have the same feeling of reality to it. So I don't know if we're simply not at that point where the author has decided to make this into a natural problem, or maybe it's not going to be mentioned in terms of this work anyways. Alright, certain conditions. Alright. Makes sense. But what constitutes as being one of the cult, though? That's kind of vague. kind of like a lich, right? So, would it be the case where those who fell into possession? Okay, this is probably Amelia's inner turmoil or something like that. Probably, I think. Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, so even though it is indeed just a certain condition, it's still not clear whether it's a case of those marked by the witch, or perhaps, when they say becoming part of the cult, they say coming into contact with the gospel. Right. Oh. No mention of Subaru at all, eh? That's Subaru. What are you? Uh, Seriously? That disguise fooled them both? Probably not Ram. stay. Oh. I bet Ram is thinking like, what the hell are you doing, Subaru? Or what does he call? What does she call him again? Barus? Okay, I guess he's not exactly trying to. Wait, and she's not gonna question why this guy knows she's called Petra? Petra? Heh, she knows. Yeah, Ram is like, ah. You don't have to tell him your entire plan, you know? Alright. Whatever you say, Subaru. Wow, really? Okay. Alright. I guess that makes it much more believable then. Hmm. Right. Really? Uh, I mean, he hasn't met him in this timeline yet. Hi. Alright, so why don't you kill yourself? Half devil. Where if we to put the witch into there. Hmm. Hmm. That's really all that is to this Emilia's collection with the witch. What? Why would she need to see him though? Wow. Alright, what's the plan here? In the nick of time. What are you gonna answer though? Night. Huh. What? What's he trying to do? Why would a spirits user be a natural enemy? I thought your name was Yuli. Oh. Are they gonna make up here? The bromance between these two. Al Clarista. Really? Okay. Okay, that's cool. Self-proclaimed knight and the greatest of knights. Really? The Julius is perhaps even greater than Reinhardt? Right. Hasn't figured anything out yet. I feel like it's not too good to actually be putting her on the sideline so much, though. That's gotta be very disorienting. It's like playing in third person. Woo! But why is he suddenly so strong, though? If he had this power, why didn't he use it before? Zoop! Krauseria! Whoosha! Whoosha! Nice. Huh. Oh. The witch? You can do that? I think you're gonna... Wait, that voice. Come on, Julius, can't you just lop his head off or something? Eh, sucks to be you. Oh, once again in possession of the gospel. Oh. One more? Right, so like a ticking time bomb or something like that. So it's one of the children? Nope. Soul of language? Really? Holy shit! There's one more. One more thing. Oh damn. He's not dead yet? My flesh body. Huh. Oh yeah, I mean, if he is just a... Okay, I guess he's not actually like a lich, then? They're probably more of an evil spirit still. Hmm. Don't look back! That's a pretty good retort. You're not being very slothful, Petugula. How are you gonna fight, though? What? You can actually control it? Damn, quit being so needy, dude. Oh, I see. Because it's outside. Nice! Because that typically uses wind magic to protect the thing once it's outside. That was cool. Huh? Yeah, that was cool. I'm glad that the wagon wasn't destroyed. Like literally, if he just took out the wheels. Oh wow, that is way more than. Ah, so that's why we have the opening scene of the Great Chair. What? I. Cause he loves you. Nice. Okay. Right, and then the ending song "Stay Alive" right there. All right, so this nice little reunion under the tree, eh? I mean, even though this seems like mission accomplished, with so much time left, I'm having a bad feeling about this. Mm, I don't know. With how the opening is, I gotta say this. Eh, we'll see. Yes, it's a lap pillow. Should protect it, Subaru. Cavella. So that does that mean that they are pretty much a couple at the end of this first season? I mean, on one hand, I'm like, I know this is supposed to be like really heart touching and whatnot, but I mean, I guess. Huh. That's all the story is about. Really? That's it? Okay, I was actually seriously expecting some other twist at the very end here. And also, I know this is kind of a downer, but throughout that entire scene, I was always thinking back to the scene between Rim and Subaru instead, and how it's really, really eerily similar to each other, right? The entire concept between Rim and Subaru and Emilia. But that's just the ironic thing about the situation, I guess. Alright, but for real though, there's like 5 more minutes here. I'm positive that there's still something we haven't seen yet that's gonna happen after this. So, I guess we shall wait, right? I mean, technically, even after all this, I still got the 2 OVAs to go through. But with Season 2 coming out tomorrow, I'm not quite sure if I can actually fit that in. Stay alive. Styx Helix. I find it quite interesting that both the opening and the ending, uh, they seem specifically written for this anime, let's say, in the lyrics and whatnot. Alright. What do you have up your sleeves, ReZero? What is it that you want me to watch so much? So we got a storm coming? No. It's just the caravan. Hmm? Oh, you have another blue-haired girl to worry about, Amelia. Who's... Damn, it was Who's Rim. Holy shit. Oh man. Of course, one last thing. Oh, no wonder. I see it. God damn it. Alright. Alright. Got me good. Of all the things I was expecting, it was actually not this one. But we'll talk more after this. OMFG. That is the big twist in the end of this episode, in the end of this first season. Man, that is... I finally get the meme of Who's Rim, right? Because this entire time, when was the first time we saw her being, her presence being erased and whatnot? I think that was back in episode 9 or 10 or something like that, right? And I was thinking, okay, sure, it's kind of funny that someone who's this important suddenly is forgotten by all those people, including the one, her closest sister, Ram, right? But I was like, okay, so that's kind of sad and it's kind of funny, but why is it worthy of being a meme, right? But however, at that very last scene, the instant the camera panned to Emilia, right? Even without her saying anything, it all came to me right at that instant. I was like, that is it. That is where this meme comes by. So you guys can see it, right? Even before Emilia said it, I was like, who's Rim? Right, finishing her words. Because it was at that moment, everything just clicked and I was just, that is where the twist is. And I was expecting a twist. Like, I'll be clear here. I thought that things went a little bit too swimmingly, a little bit too well. Even though this is just the first season and there's still more seasons to come, ReZero never struck me as a sort of series where, I mean, looking at it through these 13 episodes or 25 TV anime episodes, right? ReZero never struck me as one that would end so quietly, right? And so normally, in a way. So I was expecting something, and my biggest, the one that I thought would happen would actually be something related with the opening, right? We see Emilia standing beneath the tree, we see Subaru trying to save her, and then we see all these unseen hands coming out, right? And Betelgeuse' unseen hands. So I actually thought what would happen is, because I wasn't completely convinced that Betelgeuse was dead already, or he'd been somehow eradicated, right? I thought that there were, this ties in with these Firestones as well, but I thought that there was still someone, a hidden, a hidden plant within the current refugees, the current villagers as well, and so maybe Betelgeuse would show up at that very last moment whilst everyone had their guard down, and then use that opportunity to kill Emilia, right? And that would be the end of this season, and then we'd have to start all over again in the next one. But no, that was not happen at all. It was actually Rem the entire time, and man, that got me. That totally got me. And it's so ironic as well if you think about it, because this is, during the confession scene, right, with Emilia and Subaru. The entire time in my head, I was going like, this is like a literal parallel between the scene with Rim and Subaru, and now Subaru's doing the same with Emilia, right? It's like the exact same thing, a parallel in that case. And to, at the end of it, have this revelation of Rim being forgotten, oh man, that was just too good. So what are they gonna do about it, right? So, and more importantly, why did that happen? Last we saw of Rim, she departed ways with Subaru because she was headed back to Capital alongside Karushu, right? Because of her wounds and whatnot. And I guess my best guess is that perhaps the White Whale wasn't completely dead. We do see Karushu's troops trying to drag the White Whale's carcass back to the capital, just as a proof to show people that, yeah, they've really slain the White Whale, this calamity isn't going to harm them anymore, that kind of thing. So maybe the White Whale has better than expected regeneration, and so later revived itself, and then they had a great battle, and then Rem turned out to be one of the sacrifices in that battle. That's the most logical conclusion I can come up with in regards to that, unless there are other forces at play which could utilize the same sort of power, but not necessarily in the form of the White Whale, right? So yeah, that's my best guess as to what is going to happen. Now, the interesting question here is, well, I guess I can't really say it's an interesting question. So, in my mind, I just kept on thinking, so, holy shit, Rim has been forgotten. Has the save point been updated to the point where he can't actually go back and revert that anymore, right? And what I mean by this is, we know that Subaru's save point has been updated, right? We literally see it in this beginning of this episode, where he is now, Rim and others have already departed, and they are now having their little strategy meeting, right? Where Subaru is going to come up with a plan to eradicate all of the witch's cult. So what if Rim was already dead or forgotten at that point? What would happen then? How can it do it, right? I mean, I don't really think that's plausible because Rim seems to be a very important main character as well. So I really don't think that they're going to go that far as to just completely wipe out her presence or something like that. But I mean, hard to say. Really hard to say, right? Obviously, I think what's more likely to happen is so they have their strategy meeting, and at that point, Rim and the others with Karush, they weren't that far off, like maybe, I don't know, maybe a few hours journey off, and then so they, whatever misfortune fell on them didn't really happen yet, right? So there is still the potential to get these things back on track. Now, and it's really hard to think of what the best plan of action should be right now, right? The safest option would actually be for Subaru to instantly kill himself right then and there, so not to mess up anything else, right? But at the same time, even if he did just kill himself right then and there, if he doesn't have any information, he's not really going to be able to combat the situation. So the smart way of approaching it would actually be trying to go back and at least figure out what actually happened to them, and then maybe the next time he goes back, he can prevent it, right? But, however, you gotta keep in mind the threat of the save point updating and renewing to a new save point. It might very possibly be a case where, even though he still has a chance to save her now, wait too long and he's not going to have the chance to save her anymore, right? So, how do you make that judgment? How do you weigh that? And, man, like, how exactly are they? Aw. I'm so glad that season 2 is starting tomorrow, because otherwise this would really eat at me, right? So tomorrow we will see the big answer. Like, what is Super gonna do? Is he instantly going to kill himself right then and there and reset things yet again, or no, he's going to wait a bit and then flounder around a bit or something like that, right? So we'll know tomorrow. Anyways, that was a great twist. That was an absolute great twist that I did not see coming. And great job to you guys for not actually spoiling it as well. Even though, there were some people, including Matt as well, my good friend, mentioning about the Who's Rem meme. Thankfully, I did not actually make that connection there. So, what about the rest of the episode, right? Because obviously I think that is the thing that's gonna get everybody talking, and for me, that's the only thing I want to focus on. But we did have, like, a literal 1-hour episode on our hands here, where lots of other things happened. I mean, we had the showdown with Betelgeuse, we had a fight there. The only interesting thing I really want to mention is I really love the part where Subaru made the decision to allow Betelgeuse to enter him, and then to possess him, and then call out the witch in order to, boot him out once again, right? Now, the interesting thing here is this is the first time I feel that we have really seen a good look, or at least, at least relatively a good look at the witch and her voice as well, right? It's not being altered by anything. And I don't know, to me that feels very much the same voice as Emilia. The voice of the witch was not credited in any of the credits, the cast credits or whatnot. So to me, it would imply that's probably one of the other voice actresses that made her voice, and perhaps it was the voice actress of Emilia, Ray-chan, right? Rieri. And not to mention, I'm still not entirely convinced that the witch is interested in Emilia, just purely because she is a convenient vessel, and then one of many with no particular significance, right? I really don't buy that at all. I think there's too much similarities, too many coincidences for that to be just, just literally anyone, right? There has to be some deeper connection between Emilia and the witch here. But, again, that's probably something to leave till the second season as well. And then speaking of Betelgeuse, right? So we had that fight there, and then ever the persistent dude, carrying on the chase as well in his, I guess, what do you want to call it? Like the spider form, centipede form, whatever you want to call it. Now, I will say, however, that scene maybe could have been done a little bit better. I'm not sure if that's also exactly what happened in a light novel as well, but I feel like it's. I mean, there were some good things about it and some kind of iffy things about it, right? Like, I definitely feel like if he really wanted to stop the carriage or something like that, literally all he had to do was destroy the wheels, right? We see him and his powers being able to tear through a literal mountain. I'm really not convinced that he can't tear through like a puny little carriage there, right? So, but then again, I guess he's not entirely in his right mind, so we could say that he's maybe not really thinking about it logically, right? So that's one thing. And also like the what should I say? Like the part where he was actually caught by the wind force or something like that, and so that is what caused him to lose his grip and then eventually be done in, right? Like that. I don't know. I feel like that was again also kind of stupid. Like he already exhibited the amount of power and speed and resilience to be able to catch up to a carriage running at full speed. What's a little wind going to hurt him for, right? Maybe it's just a case where he lost his ability and whatnot, but no, I don't know. But I will say, however, that the way that Subaru ended him was indeed very, very cool, and I really loved that, right? First punching him in the face, and then literally writing in his gospel, right? Saying, your story is over, you're dead, and your road ends here, right? Since you take the gospel as truth, hey, it's in the book, you should be gone now, right? I love that. That was pretty cool and a pretty creative way of doing things. So, because of that, just because of that pose and that scene, I'll let it slide, right? And then I guess in regards to the entire, I guess the plot of the second half of this episode, right, which would be episode 25 of the TV anime. So I do get the kind of feeling that there are more enemy forces at play. Otherwise, it's too much of a coincidence that the magic stones were right in the carriage where Emilia and the kids were, right? Is it really that unlucky to be just be there on her carriage? Definitely not, right? Because somebody had to have put those magic stones there and hid it beneath the compartment there. So there has to be some more enemies hiding around, perhaps within the villagers as well, etc., etc., right? So there is definitely more enemies lurking about, so that is probably also going to be tied in with however Subaru decides to do the next reset of this particular event, let's say. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this episode. And well, what about ReZero as a whole? No, I absolutely love it. I will say that. No, not even so much like the characters or the love story or whatnot. Even though we can clearly see, right? It basically just tells us. It literally comes out into our face and tells us that this story is a story about love between Emilia and Subaru and everything that they're going to do in order to preserve this love or something like that. Sure, fine, whatever. But to me, the thing that really gets me is actually how the story blends itself together, right? In a lot of times when I look at fantasy works and all that, and isekais, I like. First of all, Subaru is definitely not my type of protagonist. Like, you guys can say all you want about him growing or having character growth or whatnot, but still, at the end of the day, he's not the type of protagonist that I really like to see in fantasy works or isekai works. So that's that, right? And sure, you can have all the best girls you want to say, whether you're Team Emilia, Team Rim, or Team Rang, Team Perouge, Team whatever, right? But that's another thing as well. I mean, you get great characters from every single anime, right? Well, sorry, no, you don't get great characters from every single anime. You can get great characters from any anime, is what I want to say. However, I really feel, to me, the biggest draw for me in this is literally the story, right? And how the plot twists really keep you guessing. I feel like this is one of those. This is actually one of those animes. This is one of those works where I literally cannot predict things that are going to happen, right? So, some of you guys who've been watching since episode 1, I think some of you guys have praised me for noticing little things and being able to make some logical deductions from that. But really, when the plot twists come in and at you, they literally come at you full force, right? And the thing is, contrary to some other works where the plot twist, once the plot just drops, you might actually feel kind of angry at it, right? Because it's literally hitting you out of the blue, and then, you know, you're suddenly being, the protagonist and whatnot are suddenly being thrown into situations where it really creates sort of like an unfair situation, right? I don't think it's really good for the viewer when either the protagonist, the main characters, the main cast get out of situations too easily, right? There's a term for that, Deus Ex Machina, or even the reverse is true as well, right? Where, you know, no matter how hard you try, there's always going to be some sort of twist there that's going to keep you from achieving your goal, and it just feels cheap and lame as well. I guess the thing that actually instantly pops up to me is actually Pokemon for some reason or another, right? Where Ash, you know, no matter how he works, no matter how much his power grows, he's always got to deal with some ridiculous bullshit at the very end when he's fighting the League and not able to become the champion. Although that has since changed in the latest iterations and whatnot, but still, through what, 20 years and all that, you know, he's always having to deal with this bullshit situation because, well, they can't really end the story yet, right? So it's not good for either of those when you have these sort of plot twists that come completely out of the blue. In rezero's case, however, it works perfectly because of the context of the setting of the story and because of Subaru's ability here. So you want more of these things here. You want to keep the audience guessing, and even if you do guess, even if you are thrown into the situations, we know that it's not bullshit because it can still be changed, right? Subaru can still overcome these challenges. And instead, we're just sitting there in anticipation, thinking, no, is it actually going to go this direction? Is it actually going to go this direction, right? Like, for instance, I mean, even in the very beginning here, I was completely wrong, right? Typically, for any normal anime, with the cliffhanger from last episode and coming into the beginning of this episode, you would instantly think, and Julius isn't going to actually lop off Subaru's head. He's not actually going to kill Subaru, right? I mean, obviously, right? But here, well, yeah, do it. Go do it. It doesn't matter. Subaru's going to come back anyways, right? And it's going to, even though he's going to come back, it also resets the situation, so we're going to have to look at it from a completely different perspective. Because no two lives are quite the same here, right? So, yeah, to me, that is definitely the biggest draw through all this, and that is the story and how it keeps on layering challenge upon challenge, puzzle upon puzzle onto Subaru and wanting him to fix it, and I just love it. I like having these almost insurmountable odds here, right? Like even the ending of this as well. You know, you work you work so hard and go so far, but in the end it doesn't really matter because well, you missed this one thing, right? You missed this one thing, and so you got to tear this whole thing back down apart again. It's like assembling furniture or something, right? You know, you put all the things up, and then for some reason there's this one screw left over, and then you are like completely pulling your hair out or whatnot because you gotta dismantle the entire thing again in order to put the screw back in. That's how it feels like here. And well, it sucks to be Subaru, but for viewers, for me, yeah, oh yeah, bring it back on, right? So I feel like that is, to me, the biggest draw of ReZero so far. But yeah, anyways, this has been way too long, so I'll leave it at that. Anyways, Season 2 is going to start tomorrow, so do check that out as well. I will be still contemplating whether or not I can fit in the OVAs, or at least one of the OVAs, before I commence to Season 2. We'll see about that. I mean, we'll probably see tomorrow. But in any case, hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys for coming along the ride, and I will see you guys in Season 2 as well. Adios, and bye-bye.